All right, what is going on, guys? Happy Sunday. We've got a 9-game NBA slate. We'll get into the recap at the end. It was ugly. Very ugly day. One of the worst days we've had in a while, but it just means we're due for a good bounce back spot. So love the plays today. Got a decent amount. Honestly, probably could have put 4 or 5 more on there, but I didn't. So let's go through this card, get you guys on your way here. So first game, Nuggets and the Celtics. We see the Celtics minus 3.5 against the Nugs. I don't love this spot. Celtics have a lot of question marks in terms of who's playing, so I would need to see who's playing first. Do we have Porzingis? Do we have Jaylen Brown? Obviously, if neither of those don't play, I don't love this spot. I think there's value that one of the two doesn't play, so snag the Nuggets plus 3.5 early. Over under of 233.5. I do love the over in this game. All right, Trailblazers and the Cavs. We see Trailblazers plus 11.5 on the road. This feels pretty heavy, especially without Ayton. Now, the reason why we're getting this line is because Mitchell is going to be out this game. So with that said, it kind of makes more sense why we see this line. So we got no Ayton on the Trailblazers side and no Mitchell on the Cavs side. So I think it kind of evens each other out. I could see the Trailblazers hanging around. I mean, they have been one of the better teams in the NBA lately. So give me the Trailblazers plus 11.5. Bulls and the Pacers. We see the Bulls getting 10.5 on the road against the Pacers. I think that's just too many. This feels like a Sunday upset in my opinion. I would almost lean Bulls money line. Kind of crazy. A little bit of a crazy one, but feels like a Sunday weird spot here. So give me the Bulls plus 10.5. Knicks and the Heat didn't play anything in this game, although I'm gonna have to look at it a little bit more. There were some angles I potentially liked, but didn't put anything on the card for this game. Knicks minus 6.5. I can get down with that. This Heat team is just god awful, man. They are not good. I would lean towards the under 221.5, but give me the Knicks minus 6.5. Raptors and the Magic should be a good game. 7.5 for this Magic team is a decent amount, considering the Raptors will be at full strength today. Give me the Raptors plus 7.5. Over under of 209.5. A huge lean towards the under. We've seen Raptors have games where they just simply can't score. So my first bet would be the under. Then give me the Raptors plus 7.5. Next game, Thunder and the Spurs. Kind of probably going to be a crappy game. We see Thunder minus 13.5. That's a decent amount. The Spurs team's been playing pretty well. Give me the Spurs plus 13.5 at home. Pelicans and the Jazz. We see Pelicans minus 7.5. Why? Because there's no John Collins. There's no Lauri Markkanen. There's no Walker Kessler. So that's going to be a little tricky to kind of back the Jazz in this spot. But at home, Pelicans full strength. It's a tricky one. I would lean Pelicans minus 7.5. I just don't love the starting rotation that the Jazz are throwing out there, and they're not going to have any bench strength. So not a game I would bet. This is just an absolute crap game. Good prop game. I think there are definitely some angles here for some props. There was one prop that I liked. Next game, Clippers and the Lakers. Well, this is game of the night. This should be a pretty good game. Lakers getting 2.5 at home. Lakers have been playing real well. Luka's been dealing. So give me the Lakers plus 2.5. You could also look at money line for plus 115. Over under of 219.5. Give me the over in this contest. Last game on the card, Timberwolves and the Suns. We see minus 2.5 for the Suns. Honestly, I didn't make it to these last two games, so I kind of ran out of time before I needed to get the video out. So I will definitely be looking through those, and if there's any plays I like, I'll post them in the Discord. It's absolutely free to join. Link is down below. T-Wolves plus 2.5. Doesn't really make sense to me, but I'm just going to go with the books, know what they're talking about. I would go Suns money line, a little Sunday special there. All right, let's get to our props here. Okay. All right, so what I like today, We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll recap yesterday. Terrible day yesterday. It was just 2-3 in the NBA. So it wasn't the worst thing ever. Keyshawn George, over 4.5 rebounds. He hooked us with 4. Oscar Thompson got 3 assists to cash that for us. Malik Monk, we needed 9.5. We needed 10 rebounds and assists. He hooked us at 9. So a lot of hooks. Brandon Podziemski, over 3.5 assists. Love the read for him. He just ended up with like 2. So it ended up being one more. Steph and Draymond just had a ton of assists. Jaren Jackson Jr. under 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Very sweat free. He had 5. So 2-3 in the NBA. Finished down 1.76 units. Our biggest play was Keyshawn George. He just didn't come through for us. And then college. College continues to just be infuriating, and I hate it. But we're working on the model. We're retooling it. Just started from the ground up again. So a complete redo. But a couple of frustrating ones here. UTEP, just had a commanding lead. Looked like they were just going to destroy Middle Tennessee and ended up blowing it at the end. Wright State, commanding lead. 15 minutes left in the second half. It just looked like they were going to dominate. Just absolutely collapsed at the end. So 2 teams collapsed at the end. We ended up going 1-4. Creighton shot horrendously bad. Colgate didn't shoot bad. American was just on fire with the threes. You shoot 50% from the 3, you're probably going to win. So it is what it is. But yeah, college continues to kill us. We're down 11 units in college. So we got to figure that one out real quick. 32% win rate, just horrendous. NBA, we're doing great, man. 71% win rate, absolutely spectacular, up 17 units. So even after the down day yesterday, still not bad. But let's get into plays. Jason Tatum over 7.5 rebounds. He's over this in 3 of his last 5. We've got Porzingis and we've got Brown as game time decisions. I think, if one of the 2 plays, he's fine. If neither plays, this game could dramatically shift. But I still like him to go over. Denver is 23rd in rebounds to the power forward position over the last 15 games. So I like him to get that today. Anthony Simons, I don't know, under 3.5 3-pointers made. He's only over this in 4 of 15. 4 of his last 15. Cleveland gives up the 12th fewest threes to the point guard position over the last 15 games. So I do not love this spot for him. Denny Advajia, over 8.5 rebounds plus assists, minus 110 on DraftKings. If you want to play something safer, you could take his over 2.5 assists at minus 140 on DraftKings. He's over that in 22 of his last 30. So I do like him to easily carry that line today. But we're adding in the rebounds. He went over this in 3 of 3 games versus Cleveland last year. He's over this in 12 of his last 18 without DeAndre Ayton. If we look at Cleveland, they just give up a lot of rebounds to small forwards. They're 28th in rebounds to small forwards over the last 15 games. So that is why I included it. And then in games where they end up getting, blown out or they end up losing by 10 or more, his hit rate actually goes up. So he actually does better when they lose by 10 or more. So I like the spot for him. Next play is going to be Tyrese Haliburton, under 4.5 rebounds. Dude's not a rebounder. He's only over this in 1 of 7 games versus Chicago. Despite having a great rebound matchup, he just doesn't rebound. And if we look over his last 15 games, he's only over this in 3. So love that spot there. Next play is going to be Scotty Barnes, under 19.5 points. He just has a horrendous matchup. It's not a good profile for him to score points, and Orlando gives up the fewest points to the power forward position. So I just don't think he's going to have a good day. Next play, we're going to stay in that game. Paolo Banchero, over 6.5 rebounds, minus 125 on DraftKings. Toronto gives up the 16th most rebounds to the power forward position. This is minus 150 or more on what I would call sharper books, right? DK is not one of the most sharpest books out there. So just a good value play there. And then last play is going to be Kyle Filipowski, a double-double at plus money on FanDuel. Pelicans give up a ton of rebounds and points to the center position, so we're not going to fade that. They're dead last in rebounds, 27th in points over the last 15 games, so I do think he has a pretty decent day. One of the plays I looked at was Collier, over 9.5 assists. Normal team, I love that spot for him, but just not one that I want to gamble on in this spot. Yeah, a lot of potential plays out there today. I'll be going throughout the day and putting those in the Discord if there's some value. So by all means, feel free to join. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and good luck today, and I'll catch you in the next video.